Q&A. Okay. Peace, y'all. Peace. Make sure y'all share, y'all. Major live. Make sure you share, family. Make sure you share before you do anything. All right. Make sure you share, family. Make sure you share. Okay. Before you do anything, make sure you share, because you could save someone today. Okay. You could save someone today. All right. We're trying to save as many people as possible. Okay. Save as many people as possible. Make sure you share, family. We're going to do some Q&A. All right. Give me 1 second. Let me get this off the screen right quick. Give me 1 second. One second, family. All right, family. All right, we back. All right, y'all. Make sure y'all share. Major live. I'm gonna do some Q&A. All right, we're gonna talk a little bit about security interest. We're gonna talk a little bit about trust. All right, make sure you tap in, family. Make sure you tap in. All right, Q&A for those that don't know what Q&A is, questions and answers. All right, I'm gonna be answering a lot of y'all's questions because we haven't did that in a while. All right, haven't did that in a while. So y'all go ahead and kind of drop some of y'all questions. All right, while we're talking throughout this live, I'll be answering them. All right, because I know some of y'all, you want to purchase a consultation. All right, but you probably, can't do it, which is understandable. All right, so I kind of want to be able to get to y'all's questions as well. All right, for those that can't afford a consultation, for those that can't afford a class. All right, so I definitely want you to ask your questions right here, family. Whether it's about what do I do if they dishonor my tender of payment? What type of trust should I have? Any of those, family, any of those. All right, I'm going to be answering those. Somebody say, let's talk about post-foreclosure and claiming the equity. Post-foreclosure, all right, so I'm guessing you're saying, let's say someone lost their house in foreclosure, right? All right, so first thing they would have to do is basically make a claim to the security interest first and foremost. All right, first and foremost, they have to make a claim to security interest, because the only reason why that property is in foreclosure is because the mortgage company or the bank is literally saying that you didn't pay or perform. All right, so what we want to do is show the court that we have performed and show the court that we have paid. All right, here's our payment. We tender our payment, and it's the mortgage company, it's the bank that is not, accepting our tender of payment. All right. Now, understand this, family, when you operate in, rather it's an estate or rather you're using a trust, all right, there is a administrative process, okay? For anybody that's out there that's doing any processes, it doesn't matter what you're doing. All right, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You have to understand the administrative process after whatever you're doing does not go as planned. Okay, now what does it mean by your process not going as planned? A lot of people feel when they send their documentations, all right, when they send their paperwork out, it's supposed to just go through. The corporation just supposed to accept it and just move out the way. All right, and I'm trying to tell people 99.9% of the time, it is not going to go like that. All right. It's not going to go like that. All right. They're going to tell you we don't accept this form of payment, or they're going to ignore you. All right. You have to know how to litigate. You have to know how to escalate the situation. All right. Because if you don't, they're going to basically win and kind of just say, hey, you didn't pay. And they have a contract you signed saying that you would pay. All right. That you would cover your obligations. Now, covering your obligations is also tendering the payment as well. All right. But again, the problem is that the corporation is basically saying no, which is hindering our performance. All right. Now, if we're not able to say that, all right, if we're not ready to say that, family, you're nowhere near of getting results. Okay. If you're nowhere near of understanding that phrase, all right, and understanding what they're trying to do, because they're basically saying your documentation don't mean anything. All right. And it only means something if you know how to stand on it. If you know how to tell the courts, whoa, 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 whoa. All right. These documents are something. All right. This is a legal tender of payment. All right. Lawful tender of payment. Okay. I did everything. I perfected everything I need to perfect. All right. And it's the corporation that is dishonoring. So it's not me that's not performing. It's them that is not performing. It's them that is breaching contract. All right. In comes our counterclaim. All right. You got to know how to counterclaim. All right. If we, for those that read the Bill of Exchange Act, all right, when you read the very first definitions in there, it talks about action. Action means to counterclaim. All right. Meaning you need to take action. Meaning if they say you're going through foreclosure because you haven't paid, you need to take action and counterclaim their claims by saying, hey, wait a minute. I did perform. I did pay. Here's my payment right here. I sent payment on this day. All right. On this day, they told me they don't accept this form of payment, Your Honor. So it's not me that's operating in bad faith. I'm operating in good faith. It's them that don't know their fiduciary duties. It's them that don't know their jobs. All right. And them not knowing their jobs is damaging me because it's damaging the account. All right. So right there, I just established the damages. All right. You got to understand the damage. You can't just say they're doing this and you don't have no damages. That means they didn't hurt you. All right. You can't just leave with conclusions. And again, that I'm telling y'all that from experience. All right. I remember first starting out and just leading with conclusions, not adding no damages and nothing like that, getting my cases thrown out for lack of damages. All right. So everything was always a learning curve for me specifically. All right. But when you understand, hey, I sent them a tender of payment. They're not accepting my lawful tender, which is affecting the account because now the account is looking like somebody's not doing their job. I know I'm doing my job. All right. But if I don't say anything, it's going to look like I'm the bad guy. All right. So a lot of y'all are getting the short end of the stick. All right. Not because you don't know what's going on. All right. It's simply because they're basically assuming that you don't know what's going on. You're not going to know how to stand on it. All right. And they're banking off of the contract that you signed with them, just simply saying, hey, we have a contract with them, Your Honor. All right. We have a signed contract, them saying that they will pay. All right. But we got to know how to flip that because understanding pay means perform in contracting. All right. You can't pay on a contract. All right. You can't pay on a contract. Think about it. All right. If you think about all the players that are in the NBA. All right. As soon as they sign a contract, do they pay? No. All right. No. All right. No. They're getting paid for their services. All right. That's how you got to look at yourself. All right. You're the talent. You're the one that has the skills. All right. You're the one that invested. Okay. Now, when you understand that and you see that, all right, you have to bring these points up in court. You got to bring, and I'm not talking about waiting until you have your hearing. No, family. When I say in court, this is where the motions and stuff come. Like a lot of pre-trial things is actually where the game actually happens. All right, when you know how to operate in pre-trial, meaning hold it down, know how to answer to all their motions. All right, you'll be in a way better position than those that don't even know what's going on. All right, I can honestly say when I finally understood how to win in pre-trial, all right, meaning understand those that back and forth argument that goes on, and you never want to let the opposing party have the last say. You always want to respond. All right, so if they say something like, Your Honor, strike defendant's answer due to the fact of yada, 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 I want to be able to answer that and say, hey, whoa, wait a minute. Don't strike my answer because my answer is valid. My answer, you know what I'm saying? Now I have to explain exactly why I'm rebutting it. Because if I don't, guess what's going to happen? The judge is going to wake up in the morning or wake up whenever, tap into work and then see the last thing that's on the dock. And it's going to see from them saying motion to dismiss. And they're going to see that I didn't do any type of No type of response, no type of answer, no type of counter. And guess what that judge is going to do? Because what do all workers do? Try to find an easy way out. So the judge is not going to really do no digging. He's just going to say, or she going to say, okay, well, motion granted. Because clearly there's no fight here. So I don't got to do much work. So we have to understand a lot of these judges is trying to get out of doing heavy work. All right. So imagine a judge dealing with somebody that's about to make them work. All right. Think about a lot of y'all that's at work right now. Okay. Think about when you having a smooth day, you don't got to do nothing. And then somebody come in and finally make you actually get up and work. All right. You going to have an attitude with them. You going to have a huge attitude. Like, man, got me doing all this. It's your job. You see what I'm saying? You mad at me because all these other people that make you do your job, I'm not them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, hey, please, Melinda, can you do your job, please? All right? I'm not trying to be an asshole or nothing like that, but I don't know what these other people was asking from you, but I need you to do your job. All right? It's just like a call center manager. All right, these judges are the same way. They get mad when you make them do their job. All right, don't mess around and correct the judge. And I'm telling y'all to correct the judge. All right, but I'm just saying, be prepared for that human emotions that start coming out of the judge. We can't just kind of look at it like it's business, because we got to understand we're dealing with humans. All right. So if I object to something and I correct the judge, if the judge say something crazy like bill of exchange are not operated here, I mean, I'm about to step on them. OK, and I'm going to correct them. All right. Now, do y'all think she or he is going to want me to correct them in front of everybody? Do y'all think I care? You just all right. Some of y'all might care. All right. I'm not here to make anyone look bad, but I'm not here to look bad myself. All right, like, I'm going to say it again. I'm not here to make anyone look bad, but I'm not here to look bad myself. I'm speaking in sense of being in court. I'm not here to make the attorney look bad. I'm not here to make the judge look bad either. All right, but one thing's not going to happen is I'm not going to be the one looking bad. I'm not about to get ganged up on. You see what I'm saying? I'll correct everybody on my way out. All right, and then appeal, if I don't get the answer that I want. All right, so to answer that question to the foreclosure, all right, that's the type of mindset. And really not even just the foreclosure. That's with all y'all accounts. All right, go ahead and exercise your rights to the security interest so you can have it on record. All right, what do we mean by record? All right, meaning you're sending them notice through postal services. You got your certified mail receipt. All right, you have proof of you reaching out to them, letting them know, hey, I'm coming forth to claim the security interest or claim the interest on the collateral that I originally gave. All right, because that very piece of document is going to be your very first piece of evidence. All right, because if they say, no, you cannot leverage your security interest, or no, you can't have your security interest, family, that is cold case of unjust enrichment. Now, I can't give you legal advice, but I can give you lawful awareness. All right, now, because that's a situation of they're utilizing your asset and your collateral, and they're not letting you benefit off of it. All right, so that's crazy if you really think about it. So I'm not here to make y'all feel dumb or anything like that, but I am here to bring awareness. All right, because you're not supposed to be working. You're not supposed to be trying to create passive income. There's a lot of uninformed people that are out here that's telling y'all to do this. We talking about uninformed millionaires. All right, there are millionaires that are uninformed. All right, I don't know why. If folks don't want to believe that, I'm trying to tell you, there are millionaires that are uninformed. All right, now bless their hearts. They're trying to do as best as they can to kind of teach you how they got to the next level. All right, but I'm trying to tell you, okay, if that person is not claiming security interest, don't know anything about court, don't know anything about trust, don't know anything about estates, all right, they're uninformed. All right, now granted, they made a lot of money the uninformed way. All right, and meaning a bunch of more uninformed people is going to see that and say, okay, I need to go work on my credit score. I need to build me a credit repair company, or I need to build me I need to get into real estate. All right, and again, my real estate portfolio ain't you know what I'm saying, but I'm here to let you know the information is golden. All right, if you got any type of real estate and you're paying it out of your pocket, or you're using the tenant's money to pay off the house, you're doing it wrong. Okay, because that money that you are getting from the tenant, all right, you're not supposed to be getting any money from the tenant. You're supposed to be getting a tenant payment. But let's just talk though. All right, because if you're charging your tenants, all right, a lot of people say, well, how am I supposed to make money? All right. Well, the question is, why are you trying to make money? You're trying to make money to pay off the house, right? The house is already paid off. So imagine you get in the house and you telling yourself, man, I gotta charge my man, because I gotta get this money back. What do you mean? Get the money back on what? Then now it defeats the whole purpose of even getting into real estate. You see what I'm saying? That's the conversation a lot of people is going to start to have. All right. Now, I know it sounds crazy. All right. I know it sounds wild. Some of y'all saying, man, I make some good money in real estate. Do you? All right. Do you? Okay. Do you? Because are you using that money to go pay off or go buy another property? All right. That's 99.9% of everybody that's in the real estate business. All right, they literally get the money from this and go use that money to go buy another house, and they get that money and they do it over and over and over and over and over again, and they become millionaires, and then they start teaching classes. All right, but in their mind, they're right. Okay, in their mind, they're right. But when we look at the laws, all right, when we look at the laws, we can kind of see like, okay, if I go get properties, I could go ahead and do my UCCs. I can go ahead and do my taxes. I can do, there's an ample amount of process that we can do to exercise our security interests. All right. But on each and every last one of those houses, I could go ahead and zero those houses to zero. All right. Leveraging the security interest or the security collateral. All right. That I provided to even get into the home. All right. So no matter if it's your LLC, because a lot of people say, well, I got this house under my LLCs or I got my house under my real estate company. All right. That's fine. All right. The principal is your real estate company, or the principal is now your LLC. All right. It's no different from operating with an estate. All right. Your LLC, your principal still has an agent. All right. Your LLC or your trust, whatever it is, okay, it gave a security collateral when they filled out the application. All right, so the same rules apply, fam. I noticed one thing I've learned, I've been able to make things simple. Okay, we're not here to make things rocket science, and ain't no way I've been on this for this long, talking about this information this long, and people aren't grasping it. If you've been following my page longer than a year, this is basic understanding, family. All right, it's one size fits all. We are leveraging our security interests in every single account that we gave a security collateral. I'm going to say it again. We are leveraging our security interests, all right, in every single account that we provided a security collateral. All right, now what is a security collateral? Security collateral is basically your application. All right, now granted, you didn't give them instructions with your applications, but since you got married to them through contract, then they can basically draw up some instructions on your behalf. All right, so what they did was take your application that you gave them. All right, they turned around and went to the Federal Reserve Bank, got the line of Federal Reserve notes that you were applying for. All right, came back to you and charged you an APR rate on your money. Okay, so once we understand this, we're able to kind of put them back in their place, you should say. All right, because them acting like the creditors towards us is a misrepresentation. Now, they can act like the creditors to the Federal Reserve because that's what we give them. We give them power to kind of go walk on our name and say, hey, I'm here to get that back. All right, so now the Federal Reserve extends that line of credit to the bank, and the bank's supposed to come back and then turn back into the borrower. All right, but they don't do that. All right, they hold on to that role of creditor and come back to you and say, hey, you shall pay this every single month. All right, your APR rate is this. All right, there's a lot of people that's walking around that wants a low APR rate because they don't understand that the APR rate is supposed to be paid to the consumer. All right. The APR rate is supposed to be paid to the consumer. All right. The APR rate is what the banks are supposed to be paying the consumer. All right. Let's go ahead and change the name from consumer to investor so we can kind of get a better picture. All right. So basically, the APR rate is supposed to be getting paid back to the investor. All right. Every time. Okay. Every single time. All right. Every single time there is an APR rate. All right. Every single time there is a finance charge. Okay. All right, the investor can come forth and leverage the security collateral to zero out the account. Okay, the investor does not need to be paying monthly on his or her investment. All right, you don't have to do that. All right, after I get a stock, let's say I invest into a stock, All right, I don't have to keep putting money in there just to keep it, do I? No, I can put even though it's puny, I can put $1 on a Bitcoin, okay, and literally just keep it at $1. Never gotta add more or lose more. I still will have me a small percentage, all right, of that coin. All right, it's no different from your accounts. You already gave them an investment. Why are we paying monthly on our original investment? That's why we probably need to start changing the lingo to investors in investments. All right, because hearing that and understanding, okay, I went to Bank of America, I wanted that car. I gave them an application, which really was a security collateral, which means I invested in Bank of America. All right. Same goes for a car. Oh, I see this Ford dealership. I'm about to go apply for this truck. All right. I'm giving them an application with some instructions, which I intend for this to be my investments. All right. But the problem is once we send our application, we kind of wait for them to say approve or denied. And if they say denied, we start saying, well, dang, my credit score is low. Let me go try to work on my credit. You can't work on your credit, y'all. Your credit is all about capacity to contract. All right. You can't just go poof and go build your credit because that has nothing to do with your security interest. All right. Now, granted, you can go raise your credit score and then get a low APR rate, but who is that really benefiting? There's a lot of people that literally, all right, refinance their homes. All right, simply so they can have a lower monthly payment. Now, bless their souls, they don't know this. All right, but we have to kind of say it out loud so we can kind of hear it and say, damn, what the hell are we doing? All right, because if I already gave you an original investment on this house, why would I refinance? Why would I refinance? Why would I redo it again? Okay, for what? You know why? Because I'm so desperate and I don't want to pay this monthly payment and I'm such in survival mode and I just want to do anything I can so I can pay less. You see y'all see how traumatic that is? All right, you know how many people walking around and literally using that as the reason why they do what they do? Okay, so again, you can live the life of a borrower or you can live the life of an investor. All right. It's really your choice. That's really the only options you have. There is no in between. All right. It's either you're investing correctly or you're investing incorrectly. An incorrect investment looks like this. You go apply for a Corvette. All right. You give them an application. The Corvette is $120,000. All right. You give them an application. They deny you and you turn around and say, oh, let me go work my credit score. That is a bad investment because what happened was you literally just invested $120,000 note. All right. And you did not act on it. All right. You literally let them tell you no and you turned around and walked away. You literally gave them $120,000 and literally walked away. All right, I be wanting y'all to hear this because I want y'all to hear how goofy we are as a people. And y'all got to stop trying to say, well, don't beat us down. No, we got to get beat down to get built up. All right, you got to get tore down. You got to get destroyed. All right, ain't no building on, it's not building on your current foundation because a lot of y'all's foundation, even mine when I was first started, my foundation was weak. It was weak. Foundation was weak. Okay. All right. And meaning you have to destroy the foundation to be able to put in a new foundation. It's not no doing it nicely, doing it kindly. All right. You have to hear it this way because we are lunatics for going to work and paying bills with income. There is no law that says that. All right. The closest law that you're going to see where it says pay anything is going to say you to pay with interest. You're going to see it in the Bill of Exchange Act. You're going to see it in the 15 USC 1605, which is the determination of a finance charge. All right. And one of the first things you can roll over into the finance charge is interest. All right. So that APR rate that you see on your finance box, the 5 boxes that's on your contract, mortgage contract or car contract. All right. That APR rate can get rolled over into the total amount, meaning if you claim that you literally just set off your whole obligation, meaning in layman's terms, you just paid off your car. OK, you literally just paid off your car. That's how you do it. And if they don't allow you to utilize your tender payment, now you sue, you litigate That's the process, family. But a lot of people get to, they send their documents out. They get told no, and they just stand there like, okay, what do I do now? What was your plan before you sent anything out? All right, what was your plan before you sent anything out? You got to ask yourself that. All right, so understanding this, okay? Understanding this now. Like, let's say I didn't have any money to invest in any classes, anything like that. What is the very first thing I need to be doing? All right, the very first thing you need to do is understand what you sign. All right, meaning go read your contract. You know how many of us will say, well, I don't know, I don't have the contract. Well, what do you think you need to do? All right, I know y'all aren't children. All right, so when people say things like that, I'm like, okay, so what do you think you need to do? You think I should go get my contract from my company? You tell me. You see how we start acting all, but people like to tell me, come on, man, you don't got to be like that with them. Who else is going to be like this with them? You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to play that acting dumb with somebody else. Like, people always try to act dumb when it's time for them to start elevating. All right. But when we on some low vibration, they quick to say, oh, yeah, I can do that. Oh, yeah, I can do it. You can find a way to the club. You can find some, you know what I'm saying? Like, but soon as we got to do something that we need to do, it's like, oh, I don't know how to do that. Oh, well, how do I go get my contract? Like, you're that much of a baby? You're proving these people right. You don't have any capacity to contract, so why should they give you any interest? You don't even have your contract. Y'all see how a lot of folks that hear this will become entitled and knowing damn well they ain't even read their damn contract, but they'll hear me say, well, you need to go leverage it, and they'll get mad if the corporation say no. I'm kind of glad a lot of these corporations telling y'all no. All right, it's making y'all learn. All right, it's making you learn that this ain't something that's easy. You've been doing life wrong for so long. You think just because you see one class, two classes, three classes, all of a sudden your whole life is supposed to be reversed? No, my friend, you got to put in the same exact work that you done put in to go left, to go right. All right, because if not, it's just gonna be conversation. You just gonna sound like scam. Just sound, I ain't never seen nobody. Y'all swear y'all ain't never seen nobody with results. Folks swear they don't never see nobody with results. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing when we post results how quiet these people is. You know what I'm saying? But once we go a little minute without posting results, because I don't really give a damn about results anymore. As far as posting my students' results, for y'all that's following me that got results, you probably sitting to me. You can see I haven't even posted it. All right, because it's who is it for? You see what I'm saying? We come from where life is real. All right, yeah, I can post results all day and make more money. You see what I'm saying? But what is that doing? All right, what is that doing for people that's all y'all gonna say is, oh wow, I'm proud, I'm gonna be there one day. It's 5 years later, y'all saying the same thing. You see what I'm saying? So meaning somebody else's wins has nothing to do with you. Y'all gonna ask the same question. What did you do? They did the same thing I've been telling y'all to do. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's me. That's why I stopped doing it. It's irrelevant. All right, y'all gonna bombard them with questions, the same questions that, don't you know that's my student? All right, they're doing exactly what I'm telling y'all to do. Y'all feel like it's some type of, well, can you just tell me what you sent? They're going to tell you the same thing. All right, so again, stop looking for somebody else's reward, somebody else's wins. All right, when are you going to get yours? Nobody else's wins or loss should even matter. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, that IDRD, I don't read disorder. All right, that's a real thing, family. All right, that's a real thing. Okay, that PD, peasant disorder, it's real. Okay. All right, so what else questions we got? Got to go to court. Yep, got to go to court. Well, I would say, plan for court. Now, I tell people to plan for court because once you game plan for 4 quarters, all right, you have a full game plan. You can't game plan for 1/2. All right, you can't game plan for 1/2. How can you do that? All right, how can you do that? Imagine game planning for 1/2. And you're going against a team that's game planning for 4 quarters. So I'm telling y'all, go ahead and prepare for the full process. All right. Now, I do have services where we do it for you. All right. And we do have service where we teach it for you. All right. We'll teach it to you. Okay. Of course, if we do it for you, it's going to be way faster. All right. But of course, if you learn on your own, you'll be able to be more self-efficient. All right. You'll be able to have more longevity. All right. It's the same property. It's the same process for property taxes. Same thing. Should you go to higher court or state level, it doesn't really matter. Just got to know the rules and regulations on which jurisdiction. None of our business. Stay on course. Yep, for sure. Is this process right? But once you got the 4 quarters, it's up. Yeah, for sure. Then once you battle in 4 quarters, all right, you got some experience now. You okay if it goes to overtime? You know how many teams aren't prepared for overtime? All right, you ever seen a good game go on, then it go to overtime, then the one team just get blown the hell out? Like, damn, I thought it was a good game. All right, you got to plan for all 4 quarters, and when you do that, okay, you're going to be in a way better position than those that are just hoping and praying that they get a settlement. All right, because that's one thing we're not doing, y'all. We don't hope and pray for settlements. All right. We stand on our obligations. All right. Now, if a settlement comes, cool. If it doesn't, cool. All right. But we are planning for, all right, that judge to say default judgment or granting or default or case dismiss. Either we're looking for a default judgment, or if we're the defendant, we're looking for a case dismiss. All right, so let me say it again. So if I'm a plaintiff, I'm looking to get a default judgment granted by the judge. If I'm a defendant, all right, I'm looking to get a motion to dismiss granted by the judge. All right, because as a defendant, you want the case dismissed against you, and as a plaintiff, you want the default judgment granted. All right. Somebody say, I got the lawyers shook. Ain't no hope and pray, hold, don't fold. I mean, I've heard it a lot of times, family. I've heard a lot of times people say they got the lawyers shook. We'll see, man. We'll see. Now, like I say, big vibes to you, all right? But I know how this goes. All right, I know how this goes. Like, y'all think y'all got these people shook. Trust me, y'all don't have them shook. All right, until you go to court in the case and then you see that the judge is rocking with your emotions and the judge ain't rocking with them. But yeah, man, now maybe. All right, but if you haven't got to that point yet, don't assume that they're scared of you. All right, because they're great at playing dumb and then hitting you with a switcheroo in court. All right, switching the whole game plan up on you. All right, and the one thing about a lot of people, they're not good at adapting. All right, you gotta know how to adapt. All right, you gotta know how to adapt. Now, I don't need you to text me the paperwork, family. No. I need you to know what it's saying. I need you. You said you got them shook. You need to know what they saying. All right, you need to know. You said you got them shook. Now, I don't want to see it. I want to see the win. I want to see the win. You know, that's what I want to see. All right, because I feel like people learn more that way, not by me saying, "Hey, look over my documents real quick. Is it good? I bet." You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really believe in, if that makes sense. You know, if that makes sense. I don't even know who I'm talking to right now. I could be talking to somebody that definitely know what they talk about. I'm just kind of talking. All right. But yeah, I know you don't need validation. I know you don't. But some people do. All right. Me personally, when I got my first results, I didn't have nobody to go see about validation. You know, I didn't have nobody to say, hey, man, look at my case, because I didn't know nobody was in Florida. I didn't know nobody that knew how to handle that court registry in Florida. All right, so there was nobody I could call. You know, everybody was like, oh, man, you in Florida? Oh, man, you might as well just go ahead and pack your stuff and move, bro. People was actually telling me that. You know, so it's like I had to learn it. It was no validation. My validation was my win. All right, that was the validation. All right. And again, I'm here to help y'all, of course, but y'all have to remember this is a self swim. All right. All right. It's a beautiful journey losing on your own rather than it is you telling me to do something, then you lose, then you blame. You know what I'm saying? So when we can blame ourselves, we learn more. You know what I'm saying? When we blame ourselves, I couldn't blame nobody when my emotions was getting denied. All I could do was blame myself. Like, damn, the court is not rocking with none of my emotions. All right, who do I choose to help? Anybody that don't help themselves. You know, I do good with people that don't built their case up already, done with the court. Maybe they on the verge of appeal and things like that. I don't really work good with people that ain't got to that point yet. You know what I'm saying? Because most people that ain't got to that point yet. It's just a bunch of hoop and ha. It's a bunch of just confidence. And I'm with confidence. All right. But you know, confidence goes away when you get punched in the mouth. All right. And I've seen people get punched in the mouth and all their confidence go away. Okay. I've seen it. All right. I've seen it. All right. So me personally, I'd rather work with those that can get themselves to the finish line. All right. At least lose. At least show me a lost case. Like, hey, man, so I lost, but boy, they rule in favor of the, you know what I'm saying? So now we can build the appeal. All right. But you got some people that ain't never filed no lawsuits, ain't never went down to the courthouse, just been sending documentation to the corporation, and that's it. They waiting on stuff, and then when they don't get no response, they literally go start a whole nother process. I don't work good with those type of people. Those type of people waste my time. All right. Can we go over all the motions in class? That would be a good class, but I mean, if it was me, I don't need a class to go over all the emotions. You know, I can go through the motions on my own. You know, I don't need no one. All right. I want y'all to understand that. All right. Before I leave this earth, I want y'all to understand something. You do not need anyone. I know some of y'all might feel like you need me, but I'm trying to tell you, I don't exist. Okay? I don't exist. One day, some of y'all are going to realize that I don't exist. All right? Right now, you are going through a journey right now simultaneously on a whole different dimension. And you trying to remember why you're here. All right? Meaning, I really don't exist. All right. Everybody that's on here right now really don't exist. Okay. But I am here to help you remember what you already know. The fact that y'all are here on this live right now means you've already knew this information at another stage of your timeline. That's why you're here. Because somebody else that ain't never did, they don't give a damn about no lies. They don't give a damn about no security insurance. What? Man, give me a job and give me my money. It's different level. All right? Different level. But y'all have to understand, no one exists in your life. Your mom doesn't exist. Your dad doesn't exist. Your sisters doesn't exist. Your kids don't even exist. Did y'all know that? While you're over here trying to live for your kids, did you know your kids don't even exist? I know some of y'all are so attached to, you know, the world, you know, and these friendships and these families, you know what I'm saying? But once you understand, when you get past certain dimensions, family feelings and family doesn't exist. All right? It doesn't exist. It doesn't matter what religion you're in, okay? Every religion tells you, hey, there's the place that you go to, and your family members aren't there. Your friends aren't there. Okay, so understanding that, like, yo, what are we doing? A lot of y'all are in a karmic cycle. Why do I say y'all? A lot of people like me to be politically correct and say we. All right. I gotta say y'all because it's certain things that I've passed, and I don't want to kind of group myself by saying we. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things I've got past, and I'm not going to say that I'm still doing that. You know, so understanding, like, holding on to friends, holding on to family members, because a lot of us say things like, well, I'm doing this for my family, I'm doing this for my... That is a lie. Stop lying to yourself. Stop saying you're doing it for your family, you're doing it for your kids. No, you're not. Because if you was really doing it for your kids, you will be operating on the highest level possible. A lot of y'all get jobs and say, I'm doing it for my kid. Do you think your kid would rather you working a job, all right, or learning how to take over your security interests? Which one? Did you even ask your kid? You didn't even ask them. You see what I'm saying? So how do you know what your kids want? You see how we're easy to say, well, I'm working these 80 hours, 90 hours for my kids. Stop lying to yourself. All right. You're working those 90 hours because you're not intelligent enough to create on your own. That's the truth. And people like to be politically correct. They say, well, everybody don't know this. Well, who's going to talk to them? Who's going to talk directly to them? Who's going to tell them? Okay. You should not be living for your kids. You should not be living for your family. You should be living for yourself. And then everything else comes after. All right. I know it sounds crazy because you've been taught, hey, do it for your family. Do it. That was survival teaching. All right. Because they had to tell you that because they knew you didn't have self-worth in yourself. So they had to say, if you ain't gonna do it for yourself, at least do it for your kids, man. That's what they just say. Them like that. Now they make you feel like, damn. All right. Yeah. At least I ain't gonna do it for me. I'll at least do it for my kids. Like, yeah, think about it. That's weak. That's weak. Anybody that say they do it for their kid, man, to me, they're weak. All right? Because why aren't you putting yourself first? Why aren't you putting yourself first? Because when you make sure you're good, everybody else is going to be good. But by you saying I'm putting the world first and then, I just rather see other people, I just have a big heart. Like y'all be saying that to sound cool. All right? To sound like you're a great person when actually you sound weak. Okay, and another weak person isn't going to tell you this. They're going to say, no, you're right. It's okay to care. No, it's not okay to care. All right? No, it's not. At least don't care right now because you're still building yourself up. Start caring after you build yourself up to a point where your care can actually change something because y'all cares aren't changing nothing. It's not. All right? It's not. All right. You caring so much is literally making you work harder, meaning read less, meaning you're making more emotions, but you're not doing what you need to do because when you understand, learn this information, you do less. All right. But you do read more, but you do less. Like I don't have to physically go spend 80 hours just to make $1,000. You see what I'm saying? So most people would tell them like, hey, if you do it for your kids, do it for your kids, do it for your kids. So that's going to instantly tell the man, let me just work. Why not create for yourself, which innately is going to be able to create for your kids? Nothing I do, I think about my kids first. Like when I say I'm about to go build, I don't think about, my kids, because I know they're going to be good. You see what I'm saying? But if I focus on what I need to do, everything else is going to fall into place. All right? Everything is going to fall into place. But when you start to put people in front of you, you start making excuses. Well, I got these kids. Like everybody else don't got kids. You know what I'm saying? So as y'all see, everybody has the same excuses of why they can't create. All right? Because they say, well, I got these kids. Well, man, so it ain't easy. I know it's not easy. I didn't say it was easy. All right. But what are you going to do about it? You're going to keep on using that and saying, well, and you're literally watching people level up. Now you're becoming a crowd member. What do a crowd member look like? Those people that either boo or yeah, you in the crowd. No one's coming to see you. You see what I'm saying? You're not performing. You're sitting in the crowd watching other people perform. Other people get accolades. Other people get green jackets. Other people come get their jerseys in the rafters while you just watching. All right? For sure. You should not be building for your kids. Because, again, what if what you build for your kids and they grow up and then go against everything that you want them to do? All right. That's why I'm going to have a bunch of kids. I'm going to have about 20 kids, 25 kids. All right. Minimum. All right. I've already been understand. I already see what needs to happen because if 10 of my kids go against me, all right, another 5 or 6 get, somebody don't like me. They try to take out my family. I got to think about these type of things. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have 2 or 3 kids and then something happen to them. Now I ain't got no limit. Like, nah. Okay. I need about 20, 25 kids. Okay, now I see why the greats had so many kids because, hey, You doing so much. You know, some of the mamas gonna be in their ears saying, hey, your daddy didn't care about you. You know what I'm saying? So I have to go ahead and equate that into the measurements, okay? I gotta already know I'm already gonna go against that. All right, but the kids that see, like, damn, Dad, I see what you did there. I see what you did, Dad. All right? Because all I need is a strong 10. So if I have 25 kids, I'm hoping 10 of those kids buys in, okay? Because I know there's going to be distractions there. You're going to have those rebel kids that think they know best. Because, you know, my kids are not going to understand broke, all right? They going to think everything is supposed to be just given to them. So it's going to be a whole aspect of me teaching them. You know, I'm a drill sergeant. I'm like, you get nothing, boy, and you will like it until you read, okay? So that's the type of dad I'm going to be. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already got it cemented. It's already locked in. It's already locked in, family. Okay? It's already locked in. I don't care who judge it. I don't care what it looks like, what it sound like. It sound nasty. It sounds ratchet. It sounds, oh my gosh, Nick Cannon. Who cares what these regular ass people think? Okay? They're not building what I'm trying to build. You know what I'm saying? They're not building what I'm trying to build. They can go find a regular ass life. And that's what I had to start telling myself. Remember, like, hey, wait a minute. To be a creator, you can't let outside people dictate your creation. If I want 30 kids, man, I'm about to have 30 kids. I'm reading the Bible and stuff like that. I'm seeing like, man, they have like 400 kids. Okay, what? What are we doing? But people try to make you feel bad. Oh my God, you're trying to be like Nick Cannon. As if Nick Cannon was the first person to have a bunch of kids. You see how poor we are? You know what I'm saying? How little of history we know? All right, when we understand the great men in history, they had a bunch of kids. And before a lot of y'all women say, well, how you going to be in all their life? I might not can't be in all their lives. So what? So what? If I have 100 damn kids, how the hell am I going to be there every single second of the day? Do you think I'm going to see every single one of them first walk, first talk? Do you honestly think that? Do you honestly think that? And then they say, well, he's going to be a kid somewhere that's going to, but it might will be a kid somewhere that's going to get the short end of the stick. You think that's going to stop me from having a bunch of kids? You think that's going to stop me? All right, because when they get older, when we come together and say, hey, listen, I know you was 5, you're 6, you know, I was out here doing it, you know, I was in space, I was on Mars, I was in, you know, I couldn't be at your birthday party. I couldn't, like, come on, son, come on, daughter. Do you see what I'm out here building? You act like I'm just at the gambling house playing pool and shit. All right, no. Okay? So understand that I know people don't agree with that, and I don't care. I'm here to show y'all, like, stop caring about how people is going to view you. All right? I could never be embarrassed of nothing I do. Nothing. Okay? Because I trust my process. And I know what I'm here to do, and I know what I'm going to do. Okay? So, again, that's why, I mean, I'm just looking at, again, some people might not view themselves like that. You know what I'm saying? I definitely feel like I'm here for a reason. All right. And I definitely feel like my family will be attacked for the things that I'm going to be doing in the future. You know what I'm saying? So I got to bank on that. I can't be worried about what people saying. That looks crazy. That looks like it's like, who cares? Who cares what you think? All right. Yes, everything has a purpose. Now, imagine if all 20, 25 kids lock in. Now I got 20, 25 kids. Like, oh, damn. Man, okay, boom. I'm going to put 10 of y'all over there on my private equity company. I'm going to put 6 of y'all over there on the nonprofit. 5 of y'all is going into ministries. You see what I'm saying? Like, what? Man. And then when I do that, watch how many people say, oh my God, this is beautiful, man. It's the same people that told me, what? You're crazy. You're crazy. You see what I'm saying? It don't never look good when it's first started. All right. But when it's all said and done, when I'm an old ass man surrounded by a bunch of kids, all right, that's when I'm just like, okay, this is what I did it for. All right. Not y'all people that only got one kid because you think it's too much work dealing with kids. Like, okay, what you gonna do when you old? Who gonna be there? Who gonna be there? I got my kids to take care of me. Yeah, and if nobody like it, they know what they can do. All right, for sure. For sure. All right, for sure. I think every man that understands this about himself, he needs to move in this manner. All right. Of course, having the information, having the game plan, having the blueprint. I have a game plan. I have a blueprint. All right. If anybody don't want to be there, they don't have to be there. You see what I'm saying? Because that game plan is going to happen regardless. All right. That's one thing I had to tell myself. All right. I had to say I'm going to be meeting women on this path that's not going to agree, and they can either go or they can rock. You know what I'm saying? But that is not going to stop me from gathering more folks to be a part of this plan. Yeah, I know. I know. I know. All right. When it's all said and done, watch what they're going to say. All right. Just remember what I'm saying right now. Okay. Just remember what I'm saying right now. When 15 years from now, when I pop back out, all right, and y'all kind of see how everything done formulated, watch all them folks like, oh my gosh, I should have stayed. Oh my gosh, I should have got the baby by him. Oh my gosh, oh my God. Yeah, you should have. All right, now you're worried. Now you're in a monogamous situation getting cheated on. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, I was going to be honest with you. I was going to tell you this. But nah, go get cheated on. Go find you somebody that's going to drink your bath water and treat you like a Cinderella. All right, go find it. All right, go find it. All right, we have goals accomplished over here. All right, we talking about the kids, fam. We understand about kids. All right, that's why I'm saying my kids is going to see this, is what I'm saying. If somebody asks me, what are you going to tell your kids when they see you with different women? Well, same thing a man with one woman would tell them. What are you talking about? Same thing. Like, it's no cut and dry, because you got to remember, I love little kids because they don't have any filters and they're more understanding. You see what I'm saying? So me telling my kids and understanding this as they grow up, they already going to be accustomed to it. All right. So somebody else trying to get in their ear, get in my daughter's ear, like, you know, your daddy was a player. You know, they're not going to be hearing that. Like, no, he wasn't. Because I'm poly too. My dad taught me how to be poly. Like, a lot of people ask me, so what you going to do with your daughter to be poly? I hope they are poly. All right. You think I want my daughters all up on the one guy? Well, up under a man and not understanding that he has other women? You think I want my daughter to keep calling me saying, Daddy, you cheated on me. Daddy, you cheated on me. And her dad is poly? You see what I'm saying? I got to think about this shit. You see what I'm saying? Because other people's not. They're not going to think. They're thinking about whatever they're thinking about. All right, I got to think about everything. All right, because I'm the one that got to drive the ship, build the ship. All right, and that's why I'm saying, as a man, we can allow certain ideas and certain things steer us from our trajectory. We're going to get called narcissists, misogynists, controlling. Who gives a damn? All right, we got to do what we got to do. We got to do what we got to do. And I honestly say that's how we should be moving. All right, because when a woman see, okay, he ain't playing, okay. All right, they fall in line. All right, they try to have thoughts like, all right, they fall in line, though. All right, every time. All right, if they don't want to fall in line, they know what they can do. Every time. All right, but having that understanding, that's why I'm saying this. And I can say I haven't been perfect all the way with my situations. All right, but I can honestly say when a man is honest with a woman straight out the gate, okay, straight out the gate, and give her a chance to choose, the situation is way better. Okay, so imagine approaching this week. Imagine a woman meeting me and saying, well, how many kids you want to have? All at 25. And then, you know, the woman always asks this, all by one woman? You want all those by one woman? I'm like, no, it's going to be by multiple women. Ew, really? You see what I'm saying? Instant negative. You know what I'm saying? Didn't ask me, okay, what's your plan? It's just instant. Ew, really? I hope you're using protection. Really? You see what I'm saying? It's different levels. It's always going to be different levels. Yep. Yeah, it's the best move. Honesty, man. Lead with it. Lead with it. But yeah, back to the Q&A. Yeah, freedom comes with truth, for sure. For sure. Trust. Should I have a trust build? Yes, you should definitely have a trust build, for sure. What's a good resource to learn more about trust? ChatGPT, family. Come on, man. Who is this? Come on, Jules Cortez. Come on, man. ChatGPT. Y'all, I don't read books, y'all. There's no need to read anything humans write anymore. So I think somebody asked me, what's a good book? A good book is ChatGPT Pro version. Pay that $200 a month and get ChatGPT. You never need to read another book again. Do I need to put my trust on record with the court? I mean, you can. When prosecuting, you move forward as the consumer agent in court when in the courtroom. What you mean by that, family? When prosecuting, you move forward as the consumer or agent. You can't be the agent. You have to be the injured party. All right, so I move as the injured party when I'm the plaintiff. All right, when I'm operating as a plaintiff, it's not I'm operating on behalf of someone. No, I'm pro se. I'm the injured party, if that makes sense. Do you offer the building of a dynasty trust? Yes, that's $5,000. My ChatGPT wrote me some real yeah, I already know. What paid service do you offer to teach how to get a house using consumer law? Now I have a service for you. You know, if you want us to go ahead and build that for you, but if you want us to teach it for you, we do have classes. I have a court class available. I have a free beginners class that, talks about the different acts. I have numerous of classes on my page, on my store. Just click the link in my bio. I have a contract course as well that would definitely be good for you. Start you off by breaking your contract down, understanding what things you need to be looking for, and what to leverage. All right, because again, starting reading your contract is the very first thing. Somebody said I can't find the pro version ChatGPT. You know why? Because you got to get plus version first, and then you upgrade to pro. All right, you can't just go from free to pro. You got to go from free, get the $30 one, and as soon as you get the $30 one, go ahead and get the $200 a month one. But you can't elevate until you get plus. So you got to go to regular, plus, pro. Yeah, it's not offered to you if you don't have, you got to have plus to be able to get offered pro. How would we process a court ledger? Can we just file a Bank of America bill of exchange for the full amount? Yes, but that goes into your administrative process. You got to know how to enforce it if they don't accept it. It's no different. Same process. You got to know how to enforce it if the courts don't accept it. Why will a bank deny your trust account for Social Security when your EIN is the Social Security? They denied it because of your social. That's what they told you. Because your social should have never been attached to it. It should have just been the trust EIN. Yeah, you gotta get the 2. You gotta get the 20. Yep. Okay. Should I present my evidence in the initial filing in court? What you think, Mike? Mike, what you think? When else are you going to show it? I need you to answer that, family. When else would you show your evidence? All right. Do you know about nonprofits? What you want to know about nonprofits that ChatGPT can't break down for you, madam? Did you say you have a good banking relationship going inside with paper and things of that nature, moving with control? Do you say you have a good banking relationship going inside? I don't go inside banks. But as far as taking over account, process, 3-way process, private administrative process, then a public administrative process if they don't, allow me to utilize my investment, for sure. Did you read How to Build the Trust in Title 26? My ChatGPT told me that you can sue for breach of contract even if you don't have a contract. It said as long as you have a bill, it has a standing because the bill shows there. Well, that's the contract. That's a contractual agreement. So, yeah. Yep. Yep. Do I litigate the same way against IRS when they don't apply my tender? Correct. Same way. Same thing. Because IRS is a person. IRS has an EIN number. So it's just like a corporation, withholding you from your interest. You basically bring unjust enrichment or breach of contract to them as well. It's the same thing, y'all. So, I do have ability to be able to kind of break this stuff down in the simplest form. All right. And it's because of me going on my own path. I can definitely say that. I could definitely say create my own systems, create my own comprehension. All right. Has really been able to help me break it down so I can understand it. And from that, it's been able for me to break it down to y'all, for y'all to understand it. All right. And I definitely think the more people go venture out on their own, all right, as far as like reading these laws on your own, building with your chat GBTs, building with your AIs. All right. Because again, y'all, this AI information, this technology is here to be utilized, family. Don't be one of them people that's trying to read this stuff on your own. And all right, there's literally help out here. Okay, literally help out here. Don't be trying to be a Fred Flintstone or Body Bedrock, whatever her name is. All right, you trying to do things like the Flintstone ages. All right, trying to do it like, use chat GBT and stop being poor, y'all. Stop being so cheap. God, man, spend $200 a month on chat GBT, y'all. Okay, literally spend $200 a month on ChatGPT. All right, if you got to sacrifice whatever accounts that you have, man, cut some of them subscription off with Amazon Prime. Like, cut some of those off so you can use ChatGPT. Use the $200 a month, but some of y'all so cheap, and that's why you're not going to be able to get to certain places in life, because you're cheap. Cheap people don't really go there. Cheap people don't go places. Cheap people try to find comfortability in being cheap. Man, you don't need no shrink no more. You don't need no doctor no more. You don't need, unless you say you got your arm cut off or something like that, traumatic surgery. But you don't need no therapist no more. Okay? Man. You don't need a support team no more. That ChatGPT gonna tell you, you can do this. You're the greatest at what? Man. My lease says set off prohibit, so do I just redress? Well, I will first call him and ask him, hey, man, what's this right here? What do we mean by set off is prohibited? You see what I'm saying? Like, start with questions. Ask them, hey, I was reading my contract. What does this mean that set off is prohibited? What do y'all mean by that? And don't let them give you a BS answer. All right? By saying, oh, that's just that. No, ask them, what does set off mean? What do you mean? Why? It's like y'all are stopping me from doing something that I didn't even know I could do. Like, what do you mean set off prohibited? Are you saying that I can't use my security interest to set off my obligation? Is that what I'm hearing? You see how I'm saying? Like, man, y'all got this down to a T, okay? All right, I got this conversation game down to a T. All right, I'll wrap it right back to security interest because it'll never go away from that. Okay? Like, for sure. Man. Yeah, but we do have services for people, family. We do have services. All right, if you have a car, if you have a mortgage, student loans, leases. All right, we definitely do the private administrative process and assist you with the public administrative process, okay, for $2,000. All right, that's basically the whole shebang. Again, that's your private administrative process, also your public administrative process. All right, for those that have credit cards, all right, credit cards are a little bit more work. All right, so if you want us to start, diving into your security interest of claiming it for you, all right, we're not doing it on your behalf. We're basically getting your documents together and having you read them, and you're going to send them off. All right, but for credit cards, it don't matter what the amount is, all right, it is $3,000 for us to start that account. Again, that's the private administrative process and the public administrative process. All right, now we are building trust for the next week. All right, for this full week right here for 500. So if anybody that needs a living trust built, we are building those as well. Anybody that needs a dynasty trust built, all right, difference between a living trust and a dynasty trust. A living trust basically ends when you die, unless you have a dynasty clause, which exceeds 21 years. Or you can have a dynasty trust, which is an irrevocable trust automatically, all right, and it lasts for 100 years plus. All right, so if you want that built for you, that's 5,000. For anybody that wants a private mentorship, all right, my private mentorships last 6 weeks. All right, we meet 3 times a week. Classes are an hour and a half. All right, that is $5,000. Okay, for anybody that wants to get into a class mentorship that I will be doing next month. All right, I will be doing the class. My last mentorship is next month. That will be we're gonna do that for 1,500. All right, so my last end all be all mentorship will be 1,500. That's not next month. This is in August. No, what July, August, September. No, that's gonna be in September. All right, this is gonna be in September. My apologies. I'm having an all women's mentorship next month. All right, still piecing that together, but I am having an all women's mentorship next month, meaning only women are allowed, and this is not a brothel or no shit like that. Okay, this is literally a man's perspective. All right, teaching women about men. You know, as far as saying why we lie, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go through the whole shebang. I used to be broke. I used to manipulate women. I used to use women for their cars, use women for their places. All right, so I've been a liar, I've been a cheater. All right, and I've done a full 180. All right, so being able to have that type of mentorship, because you probably got some women that's dealing with guys that's lying, guys that just he don't have to do this. You know, maybe he doesn't know how to explain himself, and I feel like I do a great job at that. All right, so but we're not only gonna be talking about that. We're gonna be talking about other things. You know, just aspects of relationships. All right, and really being able to hear both sides. Okay, being able to hear both sides. But I definitely feel like I should do that, because one thing about me, I'm not scared to talk to women. I'm not scared to, correct women. I'm not scared to get corrected by women as well. All right. But I definitely feel like there is a void of men that are scared. All right. That are scared of that interaction. All right. I don't know why, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm the guys for it. So be it. So I will be doing that. All women's mentorship next month. Hopefully that can kind of formulate into like a all women's empowerment group. All right, because again, once the women can kind of relay these type of messages to other women, all right, because it can't come from men. All right, imagine if all us men was like, it's gonna sound like some misogynist, like y'all created. I don't know what that word is anyway, but it's gonna sound like a narcissist. It's gonna sound like an over controlling. All right, so I really want to get into a setting where we're able to have a dialogue and you kind of understand it. All right, it's not coming from okay, he didn't lie to me because he hates me. He's really lied, and I'm not trying to validate anything. I'm going to kind of just show you why we do the things we did. All right, it wasn't because we wanted to hurt you. It's because we just wasn't a man enough to say, listen, the other woman over there, all right, she puts me in a vibration that no one else does. All right, I love you as well because you put me in a type of vibration no one else does either. All right, now a lot of women can't, they'll really respect a man coming and saying that. Now, it's going to be hard for a man to come and have that conversation if y'all already have the pretense of being just y'all two. All right, we're talking about a situation where you're just meeting a woman. You're letting her know, like, hey, this is my lifestyle. I understand this is not what you're rocking with or it's not what you like. I totally understand. All right, I'm not here to press you. All right, when you could be honest with a woman like that, a lot of times, okay, even the women that's never done that before, they'll hear you out. All right, one thing I've learned about women, all right, you be honest with them, all right, they'll hear you out. Not all of them. I'm talking about quite a good amount. All right, when you just be honest with them, all right, they may crack a little jokes. They're like, man, oh hell no, you tripping. But they always curious. All right, they want to know a little more. Like, well, how do you treat them? Well, what happens if now that's your time to kind of show, like, okay, let me show you. All right, it ain't just about sex. I ain't just about to have you on some, going over there having sex with this man. Like, no, it's none of that. All right, we are here to build a business. We are here to exceed the empire. All right. We want a situation where if we end it, you still want to be able to know this information, all right? Because it's not a situation where I want to be the most smartest one in the room. I want to have all the money. Like, nah, man, no, we don't want to do that. We want everybody to be able to be self-sufficient. And imagine if all those people can come together in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if everybody can be a star in their role. All right, and I honestly feel like women, if they hear this and it's correct, man, they'll try it. They'll at least try it. Now, it might be the only time they'll try it, but they'll let you try. They'll let you be there first. All right, they'll let you be there first, family. All right, so to the men out there. All right, now granted, your woman might not, because again, you met her on monogamy. You met her on just y'all. So it's gonna be hard for you to kind of reroute and say, hey, listen, I was talking. Man, what? She gonna slap the taste out your mouth. All right. This is for those that, you know, you're meeting, you're single, you're out there dating. Be honest with these women. All right. Be honest, because you will be amazed. All right. The type of lifestyle you could live by just being honest with them. All right. So yeah, I'm doing that. What else services we got? That's pretty much it. I am having a free class in Greenville, South Carolina. All right, this month on the 20th. Make sure y'all come to Greenville, South Carolina. It is free. It's free. I will be putting out some flyers as well. All right, but it is free. Y'all come to Greenville, South Carolina, July 20th. All right, the weekend of the 20th. Make sure y'all tap in. All right, we're going to have some NBA players out there, some NFL players out there as well. All right, but tap in. It's totally free. All right, I'm going to be a guest speaker out there, dropping some information for y'all as well. All right, I definitely want to be able to meet some of y'all as well, too. Okay, so Greenville, South Carolina, July 20th. All right, this month, July 20th, it's free. You just got to get there, family. You just got to get there. All right, you're going to be around some great people from all over the country. All right, and it's, man, I get chills even thinking about that, because I remember the first class I attended in L.A. and seeing people come from New York, seeing people come from, it's crazy. All right, it's wild. All right, so yes, that's about it, family. That's about it. The information that we have for tonight. Make sure y'all take y'all time. If these are some of the services that you are interested in, make sure you shoot me a DM and let's talk about it. All right, but with that being said, y'all, hope y'all had a good week. All right, happy Sunday to everybody. All right, there's a new week that's about to start. A lot of y'all about to start, go to work tomorrow. All right, I'm here to let you know, just create you an escape plan. All right, don't be so attached to it that you think this is all you can do. I'm here to let you know you can do more, because you sat right here and listened to this live this whole time, and I'm here to help you remember why you're here. You're not here to go punch clocks. It shouldn't take you 40 hours just to make $1,000, family. It shouldn't take you 40 hours just to make $500, $800. Okay? You're worth way more than that. I'm telling you that. If you got an estate, you're worth more than that. Your friends probably not gonna tell you. Probably tell you you're making good money. I'm telling you, you ain't making nothing. Okay, kibbles and bits. Kibbles and bits. Okay. So with that being said, y'all, peace and love. I'll see y'all next time.